Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil, and welcome back to another review, guys. This is the third in-depth review for the Harry Potter series. 2 months ago, I started doing this series, and it's been fun talking about these movies. Now, I apologize in my last video for the Chamber Secrets review where I kind of did it handheld, but this time my phone is stationary, so hopefully nothing goes wrong. So let's just jump right into this review, guys. This is again an in-depth review, so spoilers. Be warned if you have not seen this incredible movie. This is my third favorite film in the franchise. Before it was my favorite, but now it's my third favorite, which is kind of strange because for a lot of people this is their favorite film, and I can completely understand why. Because visually, it's amazing. It's flawless. It is so good to look at. The cinematography in this movie is amazing. I love it. The score by John Williams, one of the best soundtracks in the whole Harry Potter franchise, without a doubt, for sure. It even beats, I would say, at times the first two films, which also have great pieces of music. But this film, especially Buckbeak's Flight, or Flight of the Hippogriff, or whatever the song called, and that's the right actually in Universal, Buckbeak's Flight. That song is by far the best piece of music in this movie. I'm serious. That piece of music is so good. So yeah. Anyway, let's just right into this, talking about it in depth. I've already talked about the music and the cinematography, so yeah, but we'll touch on that a bit later. But this film came out in 2004, 2 years after the first film, so that was a bit of a gap, and you could kind of see the kids' performance definitely grow and characters mature and all that type of stuff. This film was not, however, directed by Chris Columbus. It was directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who wanted to direct the Academy Award-winning film Roma. Good on him, buddy. Good on him. This film, man, it's just so good. I mean, it's actually the second shortest film in the Harry Potter franchise. Actually, no, is it? Excluding Fantastic Beasts. It's definitely Oscar 2, and then maybe Order of the Phoenix, and then this. I can't remember which one's shorter, but still, either way, this film is significantly short. Like, it's 2 hours and 9 minutes without credits, 2 hours 10 technically speaking, but still, it's really fast paced, especially towards the end, and that's what makes this movie so good. This movie just never stops. It keeps going and going and going, and you're like, wait, what's happening here? What's happening there? And that's the beauty of Prisoner of Azkaban. You have no idea what's gonna happen next. And for a first time viewer, it can be very jarring, but at the same time, it's a very rewarding and satisfying experience because the end of this movie is so damn good. It is really good. The whole time turner sequence, Harry and Hermione go on a mission through time and all that. It's very well done. Is it like Avengers Endgame and Back to the Future, how they handle time travel? No, it's not. This movie does it in a way that is very unique. It's very, very unique. It's obviously got the Back to the Future 2 moments as well, but still, really, in this film, it's very different. It is absolutely different to how they handle it and all that type of stuff. And my god, I mean, seeing the whole time turner sequence as well as seeing them, like react to past events, it's crazy, but it's also hilarious. And how can we not talk about this movie? Now, I'm jumping back and forth, but I'm sorry, guys, but I kind of have to for a movie like this, believe it or not. But how can we not talk about the time turner sequence without talking about probably the most iconic scene in this entire movie, besides Buckbeak's flight, the Expecto Patronum scene. That scene is everything. That scene is like, oh, okay, damn, Harry's got skills, man. Harry Potter. He's an actual wizard. This guy is a badass. Yeah, he is, guys. Harry Potter is amazing in this movie. When he does that spell, it is crazy. At first, he thinks it's his dad, right? But then you're like, wait, his dad's dead. His parents are dead. How can they be dead? But he envisions his father maybe doing that, with the what's it called? The deer, right? Which is called the deer, right? Yeah. It's actually him, which is kind of weird how they change it up, but it still works. It's actually himself doing it, which is crazy. And whoever thought of doing that was smart. I'm guessing it's Alfonso Cuarón and all that. So yeah, by the way, the writing by Steve Clovis, who did a great job writing all the films besides the fifth film, which I forgot who wrote it, but we'll get to that when we get to it. This film the script is written so well that he writes in a way that makes the movie flow quicker, but also slow down when it needs to slow down. Like Harry and Professor Remus Lupin. Holy crap. David Thewlis in this movie is amazing. This is one of the best uh, new additions to the cast in this particular film. Besides that, the only other one I can think of is Gary Oldman. I mean, who else came in this movie? I mean, there were some small additions here and there, but I can't really think of anyone. Oh yeah, of course, Michael Gambon. He's great, but he's playing a character that we've already seen. In terms of the new characters, Sirius Black and Remus Lupin steal this entire movie when they're on screen. Gary Oldman is fantastic. This is probably my favorite Gary Oldman performance out of the films I've seen him in, which isn't really saying much. The only other films I've seen him is The Darkest Hour, where he played Winston Churchill marvelously, and of course he was great as Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy. But here he does such a great job playing this kind of like father-like figure. So is Remus Lupin. His character in this movie is kind of like how Harry envisions his dad to be, very caring and, reassuring and all that. And Remus Lupin is the first guy, the first actual teacher that teaches him a legit spell that can be useful. And when Harry does it for the first time, you get chills and the music and everything like that. And what's funny is that every time he gets knocked down by Demento or something like that, even when you first see the Demento, which I will talk about right after this actually, because that scene is like crazy. But wow, I mean, anyway, he gives him a chocolate. And you're like, wait, what? Why chocolate? There's not an explanation, but I'm sure there are tons of people that have come up with videos. I bet you there is a video. Actually, there is a video on YouTube on why chocolates are the best way to cure someone after a Demento attack or whatever. Anyway, you can go look at that for yourself. But I haven't personally. As someone who has not read the books also, I feel like there could have been a little more explanation in this movie, which is why I also feel like this movie could have been a little bit longer, which is my main flaw with this movie. I feel like it's fast paced, yes, but then towards the end you're like, I want more. Like, this movie could have ended off with a Quidditch match, because in the book, and I've done my research, there are like 2 Quidditch matches that happen in the middle part of the book. I can't remember who versus who, but still, I would have loved to see that. Like, if the movie ended off with a Quidditch match or 2, it would have been great, because Harry got a firebolt at the end of this movie, and we never really saw him use it apart from that cheesy ending shot of Harry, and it's like, okay, that's how the movie ends, whatever. But still, I would have loved to see that broom in action besides him just flying around and doing like a cheesy freeze frame shot or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I guess that was the decision of Alfonso Cuarón. But still, the guy is a genius, man. He created a visually stunning Harry Potter film. Yeah, and the characters in this movie, I mean, he got them all so right. Ron and Hermione's relationship obviously start to grow in this film, and I want to talk about this later, but I'm going to start talking about it now. I would have preferred if Harry and Hermione got together. I know, that's just me, and I know that's going to piss a lot of people off, but I will talk about this later as the films go on, especially in the 6th and the 7th film. I really have to talk about it here, because this film, even in the 4th film, I guess, this film, there's a lot of Harry and Hermione, especially towards the 3rd act of this movie. Like, I was like, okay, we could kind of see how this is happening, but I get it. J.K. Rowling wanted to change it up, okay, fine. But she even said she would have preferred those two to be together than Ron and Hermione. But then, in my mind, I'm like, who's Ron going to end up with? Luna? He kind of end up with his sister Ginny. That's weird. But anyway, that's in a whole nother video. Going back to this review, Malfoy, of course, Malfoy's back. Tom Felton, man. He plays his character so well. Robbie Coltrane, of course, great as Hagrid. Great to see him there. The special effects are far better in this movie than they have been in the previous 2 films. There is a Quidditch match in this movie, by the way, and it's very visually stunning. And with the lightning and the Dementors. Oh yes, I said I would touch upon the Demento Attack that first time when you see them. My God, what a scene that is to see, man. I mean, This movie, that scene is like, wow. This is when you realize Harry Potter is not just made for kids, it's made for everyone. And I can't imagine kids' reactions when they saw that in the theater. They were probably clutching onto the moms and dads or whoever they were with at the time. Because that scene is pretty damn crazy and intense for a PG rated movie. And as you can see, the 4K rating in Australia here, the rating by the way in Australia, on this 4K cover that I own, it says some fantasy scenes may scare young children. And that's true because, the Dementor scene alone, that first scene when you see the Dementors, it's crazy. It really is. They really tried to make this movie a much more darker film, and this is the first time when the franchise went dark. Unlike Chamber of Secrets, where they started to go more on the mysterious route, if there's one word I would describe this movie, it's darker. Not dark, but darker than the last Harry Potter movies. As well as time, because time is the important part, and Godfather, because Remus Lupin at times is also kind of Harry's godfather, but really Sirius Black is, and the reveal that Sirius Black is actually a good guy is crazy. It really, really is. And yeah, it's just this movie is so great. I mean, everyone's already said what they have to say about Prisoner of Azkaban, but there's so much I can talk about. And yeah, but really, the Demento Attack is crazy. It really, really is. And wow, the cinematography, the music, the fact that there's minimal music, little to no music. Actually, there's no music at all in that scene. It's just the Dementors making that creepy sound. It's just crazy. I wonder how they did that. I want to know the special effects behind that. I actually saw the documentary series Creating the World of Harry Potter. I think this film, it's part 3 is called Creatures. I can't remember. I think I saw up to part 6 or 7. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't see 8, but still, either way. And yeah, but still, this movie, man, it's a visual treat. It really is. Is it a visual masterpiece? I would say so at times. I don't think it's a perfect movie. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. If I was to rate this movie, it's an 8. Alright, it's an 8 out of 10. The first 2 films I'll give a 7. This is an 8 out of 10. The other films are also an 8, but there are things in this movie that I prefer over the other film because the pacing in this movie is much better than some of the other films, especially the 4th film, which we'll get into next month when I talk about it. Which I know is a while, but still, that's something to look forward to, by the way. But still, Prisoner of Azkaban has so many great moments that are now iconic to the franchise, whether it's Hermione punching Malfoy in the face, and she says, that felt good, and then Ron's like, not good, brilliant, and then she kind of smiles a bit, and all that. That's crazy. And, of course, the whole Buckbeak scene and Harry spreading out his arms, that scene is so iconic, man, and you look at how the franchise has evolved over time. I mean, it's so different, and you wish they would stay young, and you wish they wouldn't get darker, but guess what? They had to, because the books got darker, and the actors aged, and the stories matured, and J.K. Rowling's changed, writing also changed, so yeah. But really, I mean, there's so many great moments. Of course, the whole end sequence, the whole third act of this movie is phenomenal. But there's also something else I haven't talked about. Peter Pettigrew. Peter freaking Pettigrew, my god. I forgot the guy's name that plays him, which is sad, but Timothy Spall, right? Yeah, Timothy Spall. Is he related to Ralph Spall by any chance? I don't think so, but Timothy Spall, he's amazing. And there's this one line, I kid you not, has always stuck out to me because the way he says it, it's so funny. It's Remus, Sirius, my old friends. I love that line. It's so funny. I know, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but just bear with me. The lines like that sell the whole movie, and this movie has so many memorable moments and memorable lines. It really, really does. The whole opening scene with Aunt Marge. By the way, the opening logo in this movie is actually one of my least favorite in the whole Harry Potter saga, the Warner Bros. Logo. I get what it's trying to do, but for me, it's not like the second film with the music. It's just plain and simple and dark at the same time. I'm sorry. I know people might hate me on that, but the logo itself could have been a lot better. But the music is obviously great. This is the last time we get to hear John Williams actually do the Harry Potter soundtrack. After that, it'll be replaced by Patrick Doyle, then Nicholas Hooper, and then I can't pronounce his name, Alexandra, the play or the splat, however you say his name. But seriously, guys, I mean, there is so much in this movie that just flies by like that. Michael Gambon, I already said his grades. Dumbledore, I mean, Maggie Smith, Alan Rickman, they're all great. I don't really have to touch on this. You guys already know this. Prisoner of Azkaban's a great film. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I can say that hasn't already been said? Oh yes, of course. The whole werewolf scene. Wow, that scene is also creepy. That scene is crazy, and it's the first time you're like, okay, this is real. We are actually seeing legitimately scary creatures in the Harry Potter franchise. First it was the Demento, now it's this. Sirius Black isn't that scary, but when you see him, you're like, oh, okay, is this a... At first I thought it was a werewolf, then it's obviously now I realize it's a dog. But that werewolf, it doesn't really look like a werewolf, it looks like some other crazy creature, but still, my god, the special effects, the CGI is amazing in this movie. They really did a great job with that. Yeah, overall, I love Prisoner of Azkaban. It's my third favorite film in the franchise. Funny enough, it's the third film. And Alfonso Cuarón did one hell of a job. It's written well, it's acted well. Daniel Radcliffe really comes into his own in this movie. Even though it's fast-paced, it still feels very slow at times. Like the Remus and Harry scenes are purposefully made slow so that you can connect with those characters. And, you know, I would have loved to see a little more of Lupin in the franchise now that I think of it. Even Gary Oldman, even though he was only in like 2 films and a bit, but still, man oh man, this film is, it's crazy. Oh yeah, Emma Thompson as Professor Taurani, she is great. She is hilarious in this movie, and it's so funny. And the prophecy scene, oh, that's just crazy. I mean, wow. Yeah, I don't think I've missed out anything else. Of course, the Boggart, that's obviously great. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. I could have done scene by scene reviews for this movie, for each of these Harry Potter movies, but then it would be like really, really long because there's quite a few things to talk about. Sometimes there isn't, sometimes there is, but I think I've talked about almost every scene in the film. I'm trying to think. The night bus scene, that's of course great. That's really funny. Take it away, and it's gonna be a bumpy ride. We got to see the Wiki Cauldron again and all that, and Crookshanks, we get to see Crookshanks. He was in the first 2 films, Hermione's cat, and we get to see the bickering rivalry between those 2 characters. We get to see Hogsmeade for the first time. Oh yeah, of course, the Marauders map. It's crazy. By the way, there are 2 things in this. There's one shot in this movie that I'm like, this is like a great illustration of like compare and contrast, because in the first scene, I don't know if many people notice this. You know the scene where Aunt Marge is sitting in the dining table, or whatever table you want to call it, the table, just call it dining table, yeah, talking to Dursleys. Harry's back, is kind of like facing the camera, and and behind him is the family, the Dursleys and Aunt Marge and all type of stuff, and his back is towards them, and when she starts getting angry, his face slowly changes, and then he says, shut up and all type of stuff, and then of course you know what happens, she blows up, fly away, all that. There's a similar scene in this movie where Remus Lupin is talking about him. His back is faced towards Harry. Harry's back is faced towards his back, and Harry's face smiles. And it's those little details that I love. I love that stuff, guys. Like that one scene, like there is so many like things cinematically that you could just study and look at and go, I didn't notice that. And when you rewatch the film, some people might notice, you will probably notice that, and you're like, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because when you think about it, Aunt Marge despises Harry. Lupin, really is fond of this kid because he kind of sees his old school friend, his old classmate, James Potter in Harry. And of course, there's the whole you have your mother's eyes thing and all that, but still, it's just crazy. I mean, those shots, and also, if you listen carefully, Peter Pettigrew, aka Scabbers the Rat, is in the scene where Harry is looking for Pettigrew on the map before he gets scared by himself, and he's like, when he looks in the mirror and all that. As you can see, guys, I pretty much memorized this entire movie. It's not a surprise. I love the franchise. So there you have it, guys. That's it. I don't know how long this review went, but I guess you can kind of tell. But there you have it, guys. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, an 8 out of 10 film, an 8.5 out of 10 films, whatever you like to call it. One of my favorite films in the franchise for sure. And yeah, next month I will be doing Goblet of Fire. Looking forward to talking about that film. Not as good as this, but still a pretty damn entertaining film, if I do say so myself. This is when the franchise got darker, and this is when things started to get even better. Sometimes, for better or for worse, if you know what I mean. Also, Hickman's Avengers, is coming soon. I don't know when. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, or I don't know. But they said eBay always gives stuff on business days, I'm assuming. So yeah, and they said between the 12th to 23rd June. Today's the 12th when I'm recording this, by the way. So yeah, but hopefully by sometime next week I'll get it because I cannot wait to read that run. I've been dying to read it. Also expect a comic book collection video next month as well. I'm gonna say it here, but I'll say it also when I get my Avengers comics in order. But anyway, guys, look forward to doing more reviews and finishing off this series. But it's been fun talking about Prisoner of Azkaban. I know I've went on quite a bit already, but hope you guys enjoyed this review, guys. Again, don't know how long this is. I apologize if it went on way too long, but still, I enjoyed talking about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name's Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.